want to fight little dirt. You super loud. Take those shit.
Devin Haney corrects ESPN, who announces him as the lightweight champion of the world without saying undisputed. Devin Haney corrects that. Let's talk about some of the propaganda, the email champion. I'm gonna talk about all that in this video. Y'all just gotta sit there, get your popcorn, subscribe, like the video. Lego. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. My oh my, O-Media is down bad. And when I say bad, I mean cap locks on, B-A-D. They down bad. Why do I say this? Because everything they've stood for, everything they've tried to circumvent and prevent has now become something that's blown up in their face. Max Kellerman says now real Devin Haney is the lightweight champion of the world. Congratulations, champ. And Devin Haney put an asterisk, like as if it's a correction, and he says undisputed. So that is a correction. So this seems like such a problem for old media to actually announce Devin Haney as an undisputed champion that he is. He took it the hard road, and he did everything that boxing fans claim that they want. Boxing fans said, take the less money now so you can get the rematch and have options and all this stuff. So it goes to show you that this is pure propaganda from old media. They claim they want to see all this stuff, and then when it doesn't play out how they want it to play out, then they do what they normally do, the shapeshifters that they are, and then they say, oh, the fight was boring, oh, he ran, and all this other stuff. You claim that you want to see, and I'm talking about old media, they claim they want to see fighters risk it all and, take the short money, travel, be at a disadvantage, be on the road. Devin Haney did all these things. And ESPN particularly, it looks like some of the people that work for them is clearly an agenda where they acted almost as if they didn't want Devin Haney to win. And if you're just a commentator and you're just calling the fight, why does it sound like you so much have a horse in the race? It sounds really weird. As if, because keep in mind, George Kambosos, he wasn't an ESPN guy. It's not like all the ESPN crew and commentators grew up like blossoming the career of George Kambosos. That's a Lou DiBella fighter. His last fight was on DAZN. So it's not even like, okay, Devin Haney's the new kid on the block and we've, worked with George Kambosos for the last 8 years. And in fact, that can be said for Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford worked with Top Rank and ESPN and HBO since the inception of the Top Rank ESPN deal, and he never got shown the love that he deserves as a brilliant fighter that Terrence Bud Crawford is. But they get a newcomer, I guess, the complexion for the protection, a Greek fighter, Australian fighter coming off a great win against Teofimo, and it seems like this is what ESPN wanted to celebrate. You listen to the Joe Tessitore, or whatever his name is, and in that, Joe Testarossa, he was like, just quiet. It was like, you listen to Devin Haney and George Kambosos, the ambient noise, they said there's going to be 50, 60,000 Australians in the building. Devin Haney was on enemy turf, and it was quiet, like you were in church. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like you was in a church and you're waiting for the pastor to come on. It was just completely silent and like a moment of silence, like you're at a candlelight vigil, because Devin Haney was toying with and made George Kambosos look extremely bad and one-dimensional. Now, here's another thing. ESPN reporter says Devin Haney can no longer be called an email champion, a title holder, or anything but the undisputed lightweight champion of the world after his dominant performance versus Kambosos, ESPN story. But why is the first sentence almost something that's negative? And I says Devin can, quote, no longer be called an email champion, LOL. He shouldn't have been called that to begin with. The WBC caused all this confusion. Devin Haney didn't back down from any challenges, and he continued to say things and back up his speech, not the other way around. Devin Haney showed his true character, right? And this is the problem with boxing. So many people outside of myself, they largely base their conversation on opinion and emotion and feelings. And that opinion cannot be supported by anything outside of those things. Emotions, I guess you want to say passion or whatever they're calling it. Some even fueled by racism and ignorance, things like that. But race and ethnicity, national pride, none of that equates to who's going to win a fight, because it's fisticuffs. It's hand-to-hand pugilism and the sweet science. So George Kambosos wielding and, waving the Greek flag, waving the Australian flag, draping that around him. Conor McGregor draping the Irish flag over him for the Mayweather. I don't know what you're thinking. Who the f is that? Like, none of that matters. I mean, that's cool if you're prideful of your heritage and you're happy for that, but it didn't help Kambosos. It didn't help Conor McGregor, and it didn't help anybody who, wore a flag, And it's just crazy, and I'm going to make several videos about this, that old media has all of these consolation prizes for the second place loser and more criticism for the winners. In a lot of times, it's a Black American fighter, and somehow, some way, George Kambosos put up the performance that he put up, which was he laid an egg. You're in front of 50,000 of your fans. You got the Greek flag, the Australian flag, and the national anthem and all this stuff. And you got destroyed, decimated. Like, you just couldn't get past the jab, couldn't get past the lead hand of Devin Haney. It was bad. It was a bad night. It looked completely different than the fight with Teofimo Lopez. So instead of praising Devin Haney, you're hearing all this other stuff from the peanut gallery. It's no surprise that styles make fights. It's no surprise that Devin Haney, his last two opponents, Joseph Jojo Diaz and George Kambosos, were coming off the best wins of their career, where they look good and look dominant, and they fight Devin Haney, and it's a whole different story. He nullifies, neutralizes what they got going, and they look like bad. And some fighters are smooth operators like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and Floyd's and different people like Rigondeaux in his prime. No matter if you're not on their level, you're not on their level, and they're going to make you look bad. And that's what I've seen. So the whole concept of Devin Haney's an email champion, that was garbage to begin with. That was no doing of his own. He called out Lomachenko. He wanted to fight Lomachenko. It was the WBC that created all this confusion. Yet and still, old media has more complaints on the victor, and they try to raise and hoist up the loser. George Kambosos took to his social media and he says, "I dared to be great." How did you dare to be great when you had every advantage? The fight was in your homeland. You had 50,000 fans embracing you and booing Devin Haney. You didn't have to acclimate and come to another country and, adjust. Your father could be right there the whole training camp versus Devin Haney's father could not, because they tried to block him out until the very last minute. I don't even know if Devin Haney's cut man was able to actually get in there because they detained him as well. So how did you dare to be great? You were the champion, and people were saying Devin Haney was the email champion and all that. So they're saying his belt didn't matter. So using your own logic, Devin Haney should have been the challenger, right? So the challenger came in and destroyed you in front of your hometown crowd, and yet you still see the hate for Devin Haney. Not shocked one bit. Now, the great thing about boxing is you got winners and you got losers, and we got an actual conclusive victory, shutout victory by Devin Haney. So no matter what people say, that's done and it's set in stone. There is no controversy. There is no speculation. The two laced them up. I don't even think a rematch is needed, but that's just my own 2 cents. So old media is down bad. Subscribe to my channel for more boxing news. I am the best in the business. Your access is now granted. All access I'm giving you. Boxing 24/7. Subscribe. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.